us start our revision today, and hopefully everybody has printed out this worksheet. Okay, what we're gonna do today, because it was a request from some of you, like we need to do some social science, and I think we have got a social science passage today, and we have got a narrative passage. Okay, and this narrative passage, it was a bit challenging for some, okay, because I tried it with some maybe a long time ago, and we will go through what writing and give some tips, and our revision starts with the narrative passage اللي هي this one. Okay, let us start together. Okay, and we're gonna read as much as we can. I want people, please hold your pencil. If there are difficult words or anything that you don't understand, so please write it down with me, and we try to concentrate. If anybody has any question, okay, you just raise a hand, and we are going to answer. The following passage is from Charlotte Bronte, Shirley, originally published in 1849. Robert Moore, and starting from here we need to underline, Robert Moore is a mill owner, and Reverend Helstone is the local parson. وعايزكم تكتبوا على parson means what? He's a clergyman. What does mean clergyman? يعني somebody who works in the church. He could be what? He could be a priest or something. تاني يبقى this is what the passage is all about. Robert Moore, a mill owner, وعنده مطحنة أو طاحونة, and Reverend Helstone is the local what? Is the local person. And then we started with what? With a very good sentence which has got like depth of meaning, and I want people to concentrate here. Cheerfulness, it would appear, is a matter of, or a matter which depends fully as much on the state of things within as on the state of things without and around us. And I'm going to ask people who can explain this for me. And something else which is very important in reading, يا شباب, something very important, whenever you have like the two commas, the two dashes, the two parentheses, don't stop there that much. Okay, regard them as they are not there, يعني اعتبروهم كأنهم مش موجودين.
Cheerfulness, it would appear, is a matter which depends fully as much on the state of things within as on the state of things without and around us.
Who understands this sentence and who doesn't?
It means that being happy depends on depends on the situation of other people or the situations happening around us.
Okay, you are almost there. You are almost there. Happiness, so cheerfulness, is a matter which depends fully as much on the state of things within. Like it could stem from inside. الhappiness, السعادة ممكن تيجي من الداخل, or from the things that come from what? From outside. You got the point, right? تمام.
Yes.
Thank you. Mute your mic, please. Then ايه اللي حصل تاني هنا يا شباب؟ and I'm trying to what? To figure out what the passage is all about. نيجي هنا يا أساتذة. I make this trite remark. Who's talking? هنا the writer. Writer هو اللي بيكلمنا احنا وكأنه هو he's talking to us. أنا عملت الملاحظة دي trite remark وسماها trite, which is a bit negative, but that's fine. Because I happen to know that Mrs. Helstone and Moore trotted forth. وبعد كده يعني ايه Mrs. وانا جبتها before what? Before Helstone and Moore اللي هم رجالة. اللي هي دي يا شباب, it's a title that I always put before what? Before male names. قبل الرجالة ممكن اقول Mrs. وانا بتكلم على مستر ومستر, فبقى Mrs. Helstone and Moore trotted forth from the mill yard gates. And I can, when I walk, that's fine. When you trot, you are a bit faster. Hellstone and Moore trotted forth from the mill yard gates at the head of their very small company. خلاص كده عرفنا. What is the company? It could be the mill. ممكن تبقى الطاحونة. In the best possible what spirit? In the best possible spirits. يعني they were happy. خلاص كده. If you are in high spirits فأنت سعيد. هو قال in the best possible spirits. هم كانوا طايرين من السعادة. طيب what happened then? When a ray from a lantern. في reflection. في a glimpse of light. من اللانترن الفانوس أو الضوء. خلاص كده. When a ray from a lantern, this is how I should read it. خلاص كده. Fell on Mr. Moore's face. هتقول لي يا مستر what about this one? Mr. and I found it in the exam. في عندي parentheses وعندي parentheses. You don't have to worry that much. Mr. Maybe the three pedestrians of the party carried each one. ممكن تبقى mentioned later in the passage. We will see. بس احنا لغاية دلوقتي ما نعرفش. فإن that case يا أساتذة زي ما قلت لكم زي ما عملنا هنا اللي هي it would appear between two commas كأننا ما شفناهاش و read this one as a subject و this one as a verb. كمان عندنا هنا يا أساتذة اللي هي this one to this one forget about it. يبقى الجملة تتقال ازاي في أي reading. When a ray from a lantern fell on Mr. Moore's face you could see an unusual spark dancing in his eyes. Mr. what about because a lively forget about it two commas يبقى برضو دي يا شباب ايه non-essential. يبقى اعملها ايه you could see an unusual spark dancing in his eyes. عارفين لما الضوء يجي على العينين فتلاقوا بقى ايه it's sparkling in the what in the eyes. And a newfound vivacity mantling on his what dark physiognomy. whatever يعني ايه الفيفاسيتي اللي هو full of energy full of life whatsoever يعني I don't care that much. And when the rector visage means what face again was illuminated and he's talking here about what the local parson اللي هو the clergyman فسميناه rector. يعني ايه rector يا مستر؟ برضو حد ليه علاقة بالايه head of something in the church. طيب was illuminated his hard features were revealed all a grin. لما الضوء جه في عينيه كمان الراجل ده التاني his hard features اللي هو التفاصيل في وشه دي يا بنتي revealed all a grin and a shine with glee. يعني it became like what? It is like a happy face, you understand? Due to the what? To the reflection of whatever the lantern or the rays of the lantern في وشه. طيب. Yet a drizzling night. خلاص. And here it is description of what? Description of the night. يعني ايه drizzling؟ يعني ممكن فيها شوية مطر صغيرين. Wet night. A somewhat perilous expedition. It wasn't an easy trip when they started walking from the mill to somewhere. It wasn't an easy trip. طيب. It was perilous means what? It was a bit risky. طيب. You would think were not circumstances calculated to enliven those exposed to the wet and engaged in the adventure. Anyway, وبعد كده راح عمل ايه هنا يا اساتذة؟ If, and let us start from here. If any member or members of the crew who had been at work on Stelbro Moor had caught a view of this party. ولو حد هو بيفترض هنا he's being hypothetical. لو افترض هنا ان اي واحد من اللي شغالين في الميل دي خلاص كده had caught a sight or caught a view of this party. مين البارتي اللي هو مين؟ Moore and the parson. قلنا مين البارسون؟ هو الكليرجي مان، هو الريليجيوس مان، البريست. لو انتوا عايزين تسموه بريست القس في الكنيسة that's fine. They would have had great pleasure in shooting either of the leaders from behind a wall. يا نهاري. This is something like what? It shows us like there is something negative here. لو حد if any member or members of the crew who had been at work اللي شغالين معاهم في Stelbro Moor had caught a view of this party. لو حد شاف الاثنين مع بعض they would have had great pleasure. كانوا هيبقوا مبسوطين جدا ان هم to shoot them from behind. تخيلوا بقى they hate them. And the leaders knew this. Who are the leaders? تاني Moore and what? And the rector Moore and what? And the parson اللي هو الراجل البريست. طيب And the fact is, being both men of steely nerves, يعني أعصابهم كده باردة, and steady beating hearts, were elate with the knowledge. تخيلوا كمان غير ان الممبرز او الوركرز اللي شغالين معاهم يتمنوا ان هم يضربوهم. You understand the point يا سلمى؟ يتمنوا انه يضربوهم. هم نفسهم being both men of steely nerves and steady beating hearts, هم عارفين نفسهم what kind of persons, what kind of people they are. هم they will be what elate with the knowledge. هم هيبقوا مبسوطين جدا ان يعرفوا كده. مبسوطين جدا ان الناس بتكرههم. عادي جدا بالنسبة لهم, they have got no problem with that. راح الرايتر بدأ يكلمنا مباشرة directly talking to the readers, to the audience. قال لنا ايه؟ I am aware reader. أنا مدرك تماما أيها القارئ. And you need not remind me that it is a dreadful thing for a person to be warlike. يعني ايه؟ أنا عارف زيكم تماما أيها القراء, أيها المستمعين, إن it is a dreadful thing for a person, for a clergyman, لرجل دين, إن هو يبقى إيه يا شباب؟ warlike مش معناها حاجة غير إن هو to be what? aggressive. صعبة جدا إن إحنا نقبل غير كده. خلاص كده؟ it is a dreadful thing. It is frustrating to see a person, a warlike person. خلاص كده, aggressive one. وبعدين راح قال إيه تاني يا أساتذة هنا؟ I am sure that he should be a man of peace. I am aware that he should be. هو إيه المفروض؟ أنا مدرك تماما إن الراجل اللي زي كده اللي شغال في الكنيسة لازم يبقى a man of peace. وبعد كده راح قال إيه مستر تاني؟ I have some faint outline of an idea. أنا عندي فكرة بسيطة قوي of what a clergyman's mission is amongst mankind. أنا عارف مهمة رجل الدين amongst what mankind. And I remember distinctly whose servant he is. وأنا مدرك تماما وأتذكر تماما whose servant he is. He is the servant of what يا شباب? He is the servant of God. He is the servant of what? Of God. أنا عارف كده كويس قوي. Whose message he delivers. هو بينقل رسالة ربنا. Whose example he should follow. He should follow in the example of his creator. Yet with all this, بكل اللي أنا قلته دلوقتي, خلاص كده, if you are a person hater, لو أنت واحد بتكره رجال الدين أو رجل الدين, you need not expect me to go along with you every step of your dismal. ما تفتكرش إن أنا همشي معاك للآخر. خلاص كده. تاني يا شباب, if you are a person hater, you need not expect me to go along with you every step of your what? Of your dismal downward tending. أنا مش همشي معاك للآخر. Unchristian road. You need not to expect me to join in your deep anathemas. Deep anathemas, deep dislike. اكتبوا على anathemas deep dislike. وباينة قوي من ال يا شباب التكست, الكونتكست. You understand؟ ما تفتكرش انك انت لو انت بتكرههم انا همشي معاك للاخر. انا مش همشي معاك ليه يا شباب؟ للاخر. طيب ايه اللي عايز يقوله هنا يا اساتذه؟ فقال هنا ايه؟ You need not expect me to join in your deep anathemas, at once so narrow and so sweeping, in your poisonous rancor, in your poisonous dislike, so intense and so absurd, against the what? The cloth. والكلوث هنا قد تعني ايه؟ اللي هو لباس او الزي الاوتفيت بتاع الكليرجيمان بتاع راجل الدين. To lift up my eyes, مش عارف, and hands with a supple huff, or to inflate my lungs with a parcloth, in horror and denunciation of the diabolical rector of what? Priorfield. The main idea here, the writer is what? Is talking to us, is talking to the reader. And he say like what? I understand that the job or the mission of the clergyman is to be what? Is to be the good example, is the one who delivers God's message. But if you hate those people, don't think that I'm gonna what? I'm gonna completely agree with you. طيب. وجاء بعد كده هنا يا أساتذة واحد يقول لي يا مستر can I stop here? You still can do it يا شباب. And or let us just complete part of it here. وبعد كده قلنا ايه يا شباب؟ He was not diabolical at all. وانا في الامتحان مش فاهم كلمه diabolical what does it mean. فاروح مكمل the evil simply was. يبقى هنا diabolical means what يا مستر؟ حاجه ليها علاقه بالايفل، حاجه ليها علاقه بالديفل، سوري evil، حاجه ليها علاقه بال it's sort of what devilish. انا بقول he was not diabolical at all، وانا قلت في الامتحان يا مستر انا مش فاهم كلمه diabolical. اقرا الجمله اللي بعدها بتقول the evil simply was he had missed his vocation. فتقول لنفسك في الامتحان ان he was not diabolic at all, he was not bad at all. يعني انت لو فهمتها انها bad that's fine. لو انت عارف ان diabolical معناها devilish يبقى انت ممتاز. مش عارف هي negative يا مستر. The evil simply was he had missed his vocation. طبعا vocation يا اخواننا يعني the job, you understand, or let us say here the mission. He had missed his mission. He should have been what? A soldier. ولما اقول he should have been المفروض كان يبقى ايه؟ soldier مش clergyman. And circumstances had made him a priest. لكن الظروف حطته priest. طب ليه هو he had to be what or he should have been a soldier؟ لان احنا قلنا هنا لو انتوا فاكرين تحت هنا قلنا he was what? He was warlike. يعني he was aggressive. خلاص. ودي حاجة غريبة جدا على البارسونز، حاجة غريبة جدا على الريكتورز، حاجة غريبة جدا على البريستس، على الايه؟ القساوسة. طيب. For the rest, he was a conscientious, hard-headed, hard-handed, brave, stern, implacable, faithful little man. يبقى لغاية هنا يا اساتذة بص بقول ايه for the rest، لكن بقية الحاجات لازم نقول وكويس قوي، لازم نقول كويس قوي ان هو كان ليه حاجات كمان جميلة جدا. ايه يا اساتذة؟ نمبر 1 قلنا اهي conscientious, hard-headed, hard-handed, brave, stern, implacable. وقد لازم تفكروا ان implacable ممكن تبقى يا مستر يا ترى هي positive ولا negative، لكن mostly كل الديسكريبشن اللي هنا، كل الديسكريبشن اللي هنا faithful little man تبين لك انها it is positive. اوكي طيب كده. ف hard working brave. طب يا مستر انا شفت قبل كده implacable معناها negative، معناها merciless. طب هنا يا مستر جت negative وسط البوزيتيف. you don't have to look at it this way. فكروا في حاجة يا شباب، ان معظم الحاجات اللي جت هنا، عن الراجل لما قال for the most part or for the rest كانت يا شباب positive. فانا اقول لنفسي ايه؟ هو على الرغم ان هو ان people look at him that way and people hate him، لكن هو he wasn't that bad, right؟ طيب. almost without sympathy. بصوا كده بقى اهو، يعني بدأ البوزيتيف هنا بدأ يشتغل ايه يا شباب؟ نيجاتيف. لو احنا بصينا لها faithful little man دي positive، stern almost positive، brave positive، hard handed شويه negative. خلاص كده. hard headed يعني برضو شويه negative، right؟ وبعد كده قال ايه؟ سيمي كولن وبدا يتكلم تاني. a man almost without sympathy يعني ايه؟ merciless ف implacable، ungentle، prejudiced. عارفين if you are prejudiced يعني انت بتتحيز لحد تجاه حد تاني. فتقول لي يا مستر طب هو الديسكريبشن بتاعه كده is it a mix of bad and good؟ yes it is a mix of what? of bad and good. and rigid. ولما واحد rigid برضو شويه نيجاتيف. but بصوا كده بقى يا شباب يبقى عندنا يا اساتذه هنا ايه؟ this is how our writer describes what? describes the priest or the clergyman or the parson. افتكروا الحاجات دي كويس قوي. وبعد كده قال ايه؟ but a man true to principle، positive، honorable positive، sagacious wise positive، sincere positive. وبعدين طيب وبعد كده يا اساتذه راح عمل ايه تاني؟ let us see. it seems to me الرايتر بيقول لنا reader ايها القارئ that you cannot always cut out men to fit their profession. انت ما تقدرش ايها القارئ انك انت to cut out men to fit their profession. ما تعرفش تفصل رجالة على وظائف معينة، او سوري العكس، ما تعرفش تفصل وظيفة على راجل. خلاص كده. طيب يعني ايه؟ people it's the nature of people, the nature of human beings. Some are good and some are bad, you understand, and some have got some good qualities and bad qualities. في النهاية ما نقدرش نلومه ان هو كليرجي مان وعنده الصفات اللي هي let us say conflicting، متناقضة دي. طيب. And that you might not to curse them because their profession sometimes hangs on them ungracefully. وبرضو you cannot curse them، ما تقدرش تلومهم على حاجة، ما تقدرش تلعنهم، right? Nor وكمان تخيلوا كله ده he is what describing مين؟ the priest اللي هو ايه يا شباب؟ اللي هو the local priest اللي هو اسمه ايه يا بنتي؟ اللي اسمه Hellstone. I'm gonna curse Hellstone. اللي هو clerical Cossack as he was. وايه هو كوزاك ده؟ يعني حاجه كده يا شباب في عارفين اللي هم اسمهم ايه في يعني members of what Ukraine، الناس اللي هم ساكنين في روسيا اللي هم عندهم بيبقوا in the military في الجيش في الارمي، فاسمهم كوزاك. clerical Cossack as he was. وده you don't have to know what's going on here, right? طيب. Yet he was cursed. تخيلوا بقى الكونفليكشن اللي حصل بقى، الconflicting whatever attitudes. Yet he was cursed, and by many of his parishioners, as by others he was adored. He was even hated by what? By those who are religious, as religious and religious men, as well as what? Those who adored him, which is the frequent fate of men who show partiality in friendship. ليه هو he was hated يا شباب؟ تخيلوا بقى دي قاعدة عامة للناس كلها، الناس اللي هم they show partiality. يعني ايه partiality يا مستر؟ يعني تحيز. الناس اللي بيبينوا في تحيز في صداقتهم للناس، انا بحب احمد وما بحبش محمد، دايما بيبقوا hated. Even if those who love them, do you understand? They come to a degree like what? They don't like them. And bitterness in enmity, who are equally attached to what? To principles and adherent to what? To prejudices. I mean those people what? Nobody loves them. وبعد كده ايه اللي حصل هنا يا اساتذه؟ نيجي بعد كده هيلستون اند مور. انا اول مره اشوف مور هنا يا شباب. هيلستون اند مور being both in excellent spirits. خلاص بقى، وكأن كل المرحله دي يا شباب، شوف احنا بدأنا ازاي هنا. لما خرجوا من الميل كانوا in their what يا شباب؟ I'm gonna underline it here. In the best possible what? Spirits. وبدأ يعمل لنا description على more، وبعد كده mainly about what? About that clergyman اللي هو هيلستون لغايه هنا يا اساتذه. وبعد كده مره واحده راح رجع بينا تاني للاثنين مع بعض. هيلستون and Moore being both in excellent spirits. خلاص شفناها يا مستر. And united for the present in one cause. عندهم نفس القضيه وعندهم نفس الاهتمامات. Common interest. You would expect that. As they rode side by side, they would converse amicably. Amicably means what? Friendly, in a friendly matter, you understand? In a friendly manner. They would converse amicably. افتكروا كده، هم بيتحدثوا مع بعض بشكل ودي. خلاص. Oh no, these two men of hard bilious natures. وبيليوس هنا معناها ايه يا شباب؟ يعني negative, right? Sick, aggressive nature. Rarely came into contact, but they chaffed each other's moods. يعني ايه مستر but they chaffed each other mood؟ انا لما اقول rarely came into contact يعني هم استحالة يبقى في علاقة طيبة ما بينهم. وبعد كده اقول but they chaffed each other's moods. يعني ايه chaffed each other moods؟ دايما they upset each other, they annoyed each other. تمام. Their frequent bone of contention. واكتبوا لي على كلمة contention. It's a very good word في ال SAT reading عموما. Contention means what? اكتبوا عليها heated disagreement. دايما عندهم صراعات مع بعض، دايما عندهم اختلاف في الرأي. خلاص كده؟ contention. افتكروها يا شباب. Their frequent bone of contention. ولما اقول bone of contention وكأنها disagreement اللي جامدة قوي ما بينهم. خلاص كده؟ was the war. ايه هي الوار؟ كانت حرب ما بينهم. Hellstone was a high Tory. خلاص. And Moore was a bitter Whig. ودول كأنهم يا شباب خدوها بقى كأنهم يعني أحزاب معينة، يعني أحزاب دينية، أحزاب سياسية whatsoever. A Whig at least as far as opposition to the war party was concerned. خلاص كده. That being the question which affected his own interest. And only on that question did he profess any British politics at all. يعني واضح ان كان في sort of contention, sort of disagreement في like what their views about politics. خلاص كده يا اساتذه. ومشيت زي كده، كل واحد كان ليه رأيه، وفي الاخر خالص he liked to infuriate Hellstone by declaring his belief. دايما كان بيحاول يغيظ مين؟ Hellstone by declaring his belief in the invincibility of what? Of Bonaparte. كان يجيب له سيرة بقى نابليون بونابرت ويقول له ان نابليون بونابرت ده يعني كان لا يقهر وهكذا يا شباب. It goes that way till the end. Here it shows how they are not on good terms. Okay, they cannot get along with each other in a very healthy way. دايما بيغيظوا بعض. خلاص كده؟ طيب فهمنا الحدوته لغايه هنا ونروح رايحين يا اساتذه على الاسئله.
Which choice best summarizes the passage?
Okay, of course we can do the question now, right? يلا, go ahead. A character becomes increasingly hostile as he travels with his fellow associate. I'm talking about two characters, by the way, not one character. A character describes his reasons for disliking for another character. ما اعتقدش ان this is the summary. تمام. Two characters in the same profession become increasingly competitive. انا عندي يا شباب مشكله في هنا in the same profession. خلاص كده؟ they weren't in the same profession. One, ودي كان very clear فين يا مستر؟ لان كان في البلورب هنا if you look at the blurb احنا قلنا هنا ايه؟ Robert Moore is a mill owner and Reverend Hellstone is the local parson. يعني ايه مستر parson؟ يا عمرو يعني ايه parson or a clergyman او priest؟ فطبعا اللي يخليني ابعد عن الاجابه دي of the same profession. So I'm gonna cross it out. So I have to choose what? D. دي بتقول ايه يا عمرو يا صلاح؟ Two characters traveling together eagerly await confrontation. طيب مستر فهمهاني يا مستر. Were they traveling together؟ كان بداية الترافل امتى يا شباب؟ الله اكبر الله اعظم. كانت بداية الترافل امتى يا شباب؟ لما كانوا طالعين من هنا وقلنا they were what يا شباب؟ لو انتوا فاكرين يا بنات قلنا هنا Hellstone and Moore trotted forth from the Millyard gates at the head of their very small company in the best possible spirits. خلاص كده؟ وبدأنا نتكلم عنهم و description of what of Hellstone وبعدين اتكلمنا عن ال confrontation اللي حصلت starting from here. The whole paragraph here and I can describe as what? As heated confrontation. يعني مواجهة حامية الوطيس، مواجهة جامدة جدا. خلاص كده؟ الكونفرونتيشن ان كل واحد عايز يغيظ التاني. وهنا لما اقول ايه؟ rarely came into contact but they chafed what each other's mood. They upset, they infuriated, they angered. خلاص؟ فاحنا يا شباب هنا يا بنات I think we have to go for what? For D. وعملنا POE وطلعنا كل الحاجات دي من عندنا. The one who is not convinced لو سمحتوا raise your hand. Raise your hand. لما اقول يا اساتذه a character يبقى it's unfair. A character it's unfair. خلاص كده؟ لكن two characters that would be fine.
The main purpose of the opening sentence of the passage is to.
شكرا. نروح لها تاني يا مروان. The first opening sentence اللي هي من هنا لغايه هنا يا ابني. تمام. اللي بتقول ايه؟ Cheerfulness, happiness is a matter which depends fully as much on the state of things within as on the state of things without and around what? And around us. You got it? طيب ده معناها ايه؟ يا مروان نروح فين يا استاذي؟ Show the contrast between the clergyman's cheerfulness and the narrator's gloom. طبعا لا. Provide allegorical representation of the clergy's journey. يعني allegorical symbolic representation of the clergyman's journey. That was the main theme. لا. Issue a general statement that helps to clarify the character's emotional states. Keep it for the time being. Characterize the narrator's perspective opinion on the character's violent intentions. What do you think? Is it C or D? Is it C or D? زياد محمد went for C. حد راح لدي لأي سبب من الأسباب يا شباب؟ تمام جدا.
During the course of the second paragraph, the narrator's focus shifts from
شكرا. والشيفت كويستشن هنا يا بنتي الحمد لله نقول الحمد لله ان هو مش الهول باسج right it's only for what for one paragraph. ايه هو narrator's focus shifts from ونروح رايحين هنا يا بنتي في الفيرست بارت اوف ذا باراجراف. لو انتوا شايفين هنا يا اساتذه second paragraph sorry second paragraph اللي هو بادئ من هنا يا بنتي خلاص كده. second paragraph بادئ من هنا. فاكرين قال ايه للريدر؟ فاكرين طبعا لما قال يا اساتذه ايه ها I am aware reader you need not to remind me that it is dreadful thing for a person to be warlike. صعب جدا ان واحد priest يبقى aggressive. I am aware انا فاهم ان هو لازم يبقى راجل سلام وحاجات كده. وجا في السكند part of the passage اوكي تاني yet with all this if you are a person hater you need not expect me to go along with you every step of your dismal downward tending unchristian road. ف you need not to expect me to join you. انا مش هبقى معاك في your deep anathema يعني dislike. فخلاص كده يبقى فهمنا بقى يعني ايه بدأت ازاي ومشيت ازاي. حلو جدا. نروح فين هنا حضراتكم؟ يلا. During the course of the second paragraph the narrator's focus shifts from واحنا we have read the first part. الفيرست بارت اللي قال لنا فيه ايه الراجل؟ It is a dreadful thing for a person to be warlike to be aggressive. وفي السكند بارت قال ايه؟ والله لو انت a person hater لو انت بتكره الرجال الدين خلاص كده ف don't expect me to want to agree completely with you. طيب ده معناه ايه؟ تعالوا نشوفوا الشيفت. ولما اقول الاقي شيفت في الامتحان يا اساتذه يوم السبت ان شاء الله اللي داخل الامتحان يبقى بنفكر في ايه؟ كلمه transition. زيها زي الرايتنج بنفكر في ايه هنا وبنفكر في بي هنا. طيب let us read together. Assessment of the reader's sentiment. هو بدأ الناريتور بيevaluate الريدر sentiment to the desire to chastise the clergyman. تمام. يبقى أول حاجة لا هو ما بدأش بevaluation للريدر sentiment خالص. وما انتهاش بان هو he chastising what the or criticizing what the clergyman. تمام. B acknowledgement هو موافق approval that clergymen should be peaceful. تمام. he acknowledged this. والله هم لازم يبقوا ايه يا شباب؟ peaceful. وده كان واضح جدا في الجملة اللي هنا. I am aware that he should be a man of peace. حلوة جدا واضحة جدا يا أساتذة. 2 ادي بقى ايه the other part of what of the shift. admonition for anti-clergy prejudices. admonition واكتبوا على كلمة admonitions means what criticism نقد للanti-clergy prejudices اللي هو التحيز الحاجات اللي هي the clergyman should not do. تمام. we have to go for this one. reflection of the clergyman behaviors to identification of their manners لا خالص. generalization about peaceful men ما عملش general idea about peaceful men in general ما كانتش موجودة في الفيرست part of the paragraph. نيجي بعد كده يا أساتذة question number 4.
The references to rancor and
denunciation
at the end of the second paragraph mainly have which effect?
طيب نتكلم على rancor اللي هو معناها anger hate dislike and denunciation means what يا أساتذة؟ criticism اللي هو النقد. طب يا مستر أنا مش عارفهم في الامتحان. هتعرفهم إن هم at the end of the second paragraph they were what? They were negative. إيه هو الeffect of having these words أو the reference to these words at the end of what? Of the second paragraph. ونروح يا أساتذة للسكند paragraph و at the end of it كان موجود إيه هنا؟ فين يا ابني هنا كده فقال له هنا ايه so intense and so absurd. قال له هنا لو ايه don't expect me to join you in your deep anathemas at once so narrow and so sweeping in your poisonous rancor. poisonous what? rancor so intense and so absurd. انا عارف انك انت you hate them. خلاص كده اهو افتكروا الكلام ده. To lift up my eyes and hands with a supple huff or to inflate my lungs with a pariclough in horror and denunciation of the diabolical rector of Pryorfield. Okay? فأنا I feel يا مستر they are what? They are negative. Okay? And the last part can explain the whole thing even better. And I go here for إيه لازمتهم بقى؟ A. They reflect the narrator's fear of clergymen. صعبة جدا. They reveal B. They reveal the reader's empathetic understanding of clergymen. لا مش الدرجة دي يعني he's not يعني he doesn't share anything with them, right? أكيد لا. They illustrate the narrator's sense of dismay at clergymen. ودي كمان لا يا شباب خالص. They capture the reader's potential sense of disapproval of clergymen. تاني حلوة جدا دي. يعني ايه مستر they capture the reader's potential sense؟ قد يكون ده رد فعل او احساس القارئ بالdisapproval of clergymen، يعني they don't like what those clergymen and their behavior. اوكي، فاعتقد يا شباب على الاقل ان احنا لو مش عارفين rancor يعني anger او dislike، لو مش عارفين denunciation يعني criticism، على الاقل يا شباب نعرف ان هما they were negative words. عندي بعد كده يا اساتذه نمبر 5. ونمبر 5 يا اي حد من البنات go ahead. The passage. Go ahead please.
The passage indicates that Moore's behavior is mainly characterized by.
Okay. Moore's behavior is mainly characterized by. هتدوري على يا بنتي other question. لا مفيش evidence based. طيب ايه رأيك يا بنتي what we have read you go for what يا بنتي؟ إن Moore's behavior characterized by described by what؟ يا ترى يا بنتي attitudes that do not align with his profession، مواقف لا تتماشى مع الوظيفة بتاعته، وبعد كده indignation، واكتبوا على كلمة indignation anger at his travel partner's political views. كان في anger يعني كان في anger، لكن أنا بتكلم على in general how can you describe his behavior. Willingness to engage in confrontation، a willingness عنده الرغبة ان هو to engage in confrontation في مواجهة، طبعا ممكن جدا. Impatience ما عندوش صبر with his travel partner apparent superiority، وكأني اللي هو Hellstone showing him a lot of superiority و looking down on him وبيحتقر والكلام ده كله ما كانش موجود. خلينا اقول لكم على حاجة. B is quite tempting، لكن the answer is what is C. ونمبر 6 انا بقول فيها ايه؟ the passage indicates that while the narrator acknowledges a certain evil in the third paragraph, Hellstone is actually what? You remember this? وعندنا يا شباب this is part 1 part 2. خلاص، وتعالوا كده مع بعض نشوف هنا. انا عايز ابين الجزء ده وعايز اشرح الجزء ده كويس قوي. The passage indicates that while the narrator acknowledges a certain evil، على الرغم ان الناريتر بيعترف ان في some evil certain evil in the third paragraph, Hellstone is actually what؟ نروح للثيرد باراجراف يا شباب وهنلاقيه الثيرد باراجراف اساسا بادئ منين يا اساتذه؟ الثيرد باراجراف تعالوا شوفوا بادئ منين؟ من لاين كام انا اقصد اقول. third paragraph هنا يا بنتي first second paragraph. الثيرد باراجراف بادئ منين؟ بادئ يا بنتي من لاين نمبر 40. فلو هو بادئ من لاين نمبر 40 فانا الطبيعي يا بنتي من غير ما افكر ولا ابص على اي حاجه يا ابني انا I need to cross out what يا ابني A and B. شكرا، لان هو بيقول لي الثيرد باراجراف. يبقى تعالوا نشوف مع بعض الاول، نشوف 42 ل 47. وقبل ما نشوف 42 ل 47 اهو الراجل الناريتر acknowledges a certain evil in the third paragraph. Hellstone is actually what؟ تعالوا 42 ل 47 و let us read together. و 42 ل 47 and I'm gonna start it from here which is this one. He should have been a soldier. المفروض كان يبقى ايه يا بنتي؟ a soldier. And circumstances had made him a priest. حلو. For the rest he was conscientious, hard-headed, hard-handed, brave, stern, implacable, faithful little man, a man almost without sympathy, ungentle, prejudice, and rigid, but a man of true principle, honorable, sagacious, and sincere. افتكروا بقى كله ده بقى. طيب ده معناها ايه يا اساتذه من اللي احنا قريناه؟ تعالوا نشوفوا كده يا مستر. The passage indicates while the narrator acknowledges a certain evil in the third paragraph, Hellstone is actually what؟ تروحوا فين بقى حضراتكم؟ انا رايح هنا كويس قوي. انا بالنسبه لي دي that's fine. هنا هتروحوا فين؟ A حد قال لي sympathetic clergyman، يعني ايه sympathetic؟ يعني always showing great feelings towards others؟ لا طبعا. harmless soldier؟ لا طبعا. righteous citizen؟ يعني ايه righteous citizen؟ يعني كويس، مواطن صالح، خلاص كده. could be. ruthless warmonger. ruthless means what؟ rude. خلاص كده. warmonger اللي هو عارفين اللي هو ايه، المرتزقه، اللي هو بيكسب من الحرب، رايت؟ يعني مش للدرجه دي. materialist. طبعا we have to go for what يا اساتذه؟ we have to go for C. خلاص. Question number 8. At the end of the third paragraph, the comparison of hailstone to a Cossack mainly has the effect of what؟ وتعالوا لي نشوف يا شباب at the end of paragraph number 3. وتعالوا نشوفها كده. هنشوفها يا ابني، ما احنا مش عارفين. at the end of paragraph 3. فين paragraph 3؟ this is paragraph 3. اللي هو at the end of paragraph 3 اللي هو هنا. طيب. nor will I curse hailstone, clerical Cossack as he was, yet he was cursed, and by many of his parishioners as by others he was adored, which is the frequent fate of what? of men who show partiality in what? in friendship, and bitterness in enmity. خلاص كده. ايه رأيكم يا مستر هنا clerical Cossack as he was؟ وانا يا مستر مش عارف Cossack يعني ايه، ما كانش ليها explanation قوي. خلاص كده. يا ترى يا مستر ممكن من التشويسز اعرف اعمل process of elimination؟ let us see. illustrating his nature soldier as soldier like, suggesting the likelihood of an altercation. واكتبوا لي كده على altercation لو سمحتوا. argument. كلمة جديدة عندي يا شباب. الفرق ما بين alteration و altercation. alteration اللي هو تغيير change. Then altercation means what? argument. okay. يبقى cross this out. contrasting the natures of two men. ما اعتقدش ان كان في mention للother men اللي هو more. conveying the belligerence of a course of action. belligerence means what يا اساتذه؟ اللي هو aggressive behavior. aggressive behavior. على الأقل يا أساتذة if you are not aware of what's a Cossack mean، فأنا بالنسبة لي أنا it was mentioned somewhere in different meanings إن هو he was warlike, he was aggressive. okay. so أعتقد إن إيه أقرب حاجة ليها even if you don't understand what Cossack is because أنا I crossed out B, C and what and D. خلاص. قد يكون سؤال صعب بالنسبة لبعض الناس. نيجي بعد كده هنا عايز واحدة من البنات. The passage indicates. Go ahead.
The passage indicates that despite their excellent spirits, the men sometimes found each other's company to be.
They found the company of each other to be what? فاكرة يا بنتي هنا؟ هم كانوا they were in high spirits, right? فين ظهرت they were in the high spirits؟ قلنا كانت في الأول هنا لما سابوا الميل they were in what? in their best whatever high spirits or possible what? spirits. وبعد كده في نهاية خالص يا أساتذة يا بنات يا شباب hailstone and more being both in good spirits. مش عارف ايه one cause you would expect. مش عارف they rode side by side وبدأت الخناقة والconfrontation هنا. انت توري انا I'm a Whig والحاجات دي كلها. انا I have got different political views انت you have different political views. الحدوتة دي كلها يا أساتذة ايه رأيكم؟ يا ترى هم despite their excellent spirits الروح المعنوية العالية اللي هم فيها the men sometimes found each other what? company to be what? intolerable؟ لا طبعا كان كيف confrontation. mundane خدنا الكلمة دي كويس قوي اللي حلوا معايا قبل كده في الكورس. mundane means what? ordinary. ممكن تبقى معناها dull. في النهاية يا عبد الله حاضر. و comforting that's positive. وطبعا vexing عارفين vexing means what? vexing means what؟ يعني انك انت تضايق واحد خلاص كده تغيظ واحد. that's vexing. annoying تعالوا ناخد المعنى. وعبد الله شاف حاجة انا والله ما شفتها. annoyance او annoying upsetting. وطبعا ده كان واضح جدا فين يا شباب؟ في اللاست باراجراف. فلو هو في اللاست باراجراف ببساطه شديده قوي يا عبد الله انا I'm gonna cross out A وام gonna cross out what B. لسه ما وصلناش لللاست باراجراف. اللاست باراجراف بدأ ب 60 ل 62 اللي هي these two لغايه مود. تعالوا نشوفوا 60 to 62. ثانك يو عبد الله. و60 ل 62 and I'm gonna start from here. Yeah. Oh no, these two men of hard bilious nature both rarely came into contact, but they chafed each other's moods. هم عمالين يغيظوا بعض، عمالين يعني ايه ينرفزوا بعض. يبقى ساعتها يا اساتذه هبعد عن اي حاجه فيها ايه، فيها positive. فintolerable negative، بس intolerable معناها يعني ما فيش تسامح، لا مش عايزها. comforting طبعا هبعدها خالص. mundane هبعدها خالص لانها ordinary or dull، right؟ dull double L of course. but I'll go for what؟ vexing. واكتبوا لي على vexing causing annoyance or causing يعني اي حاجه frustration او اي حاجه زي كده. خلاص كده؟ طيب هتقولوا لي يا مستر دي من الباسجز اللي انت you've read it all. خلاص زي ما قلت لكم I don't have to complete reading it all، لكن من الباسجز اللي انا I can tell it is very challenging. فوات I mean يا شباب، وانتوا بتقروا الباسج particularly the narrative، هي الناراتيف اللي تبقى عايزه مننا يعني شويه مجهود، الا لو كانت سهله بتبقى الامور بسيطه جدا. ف try to keep track of what of the plot of the theme and of what يا شباب of the characters involved. That's very important. خلاص كده؟ طيب نيجي بعد كده